Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast, a weekly show where two old guys and one very responsible lady?
Adult woman,
one rather responsible adult female, talk about old games or interesting games because it's Other Shit Monday.
It is.
TADPOG.
It is.
TADPIG. Copious amounts of names.
Way too many names. We really should narrow that down, maybe.
So today we're going to be talking about. Oh, I played it on Steam. I don't know how many platforms it's available.
I think
for.
just Steam.
Just Steam.
I think just
the
Steam.
Steam classic. Papers, Please.
Papers, please.
Papers, Please.
Please.
Papers.
It's a polite game. At least it's polite.
You want to reveal who special co-host is? Go ahead and get that out of the way.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Save it. Do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
No, let's save it.
Save it?
No, let's do
Okay.
it. No, let's do it.
Who are you, co-host?
I am Dave's lovely, responsible.
Lovely. Let's just
woman.
throw that in on yourself. I didn't say that. David didn't say that. You said conceited. So conceited.
I don't introduce myself as your big dick host.
But you could.
Well, thanks. Thanks. Man, she lies.
Boom.
She lies so well.
Not a liar.
You're blushing, by the way.
I know.
You know
sorry.
how I feel talking about those things.
Yeah, but everyone here at this table can confirm.
Why are you blushing so hard?
Yeah, I am Nikki, and I'm glad to be back.
Of Manpog fame.
Yes, Manpog fame.
So really, this makes it your third episode. So we've got to. Now you're added to the lineup for interview episodes that will happen. Yeah.
I can't wait until you
Nikki
fail the
interview.
quiz later in the episode. Yeah, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I love it.
Oh, no. Not a quiz.
Well, you listen sort of to Tadpog when you're on the couch, half asleep, watching How I Met Your Mother. You might get bits and pieces.
Sometimes it's Bones, though. And if it's Bones, she is not paying attention.
Yeah. I'm out. Science.
Well, I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I don't think I've talked about cyber sex, but not just dirty talk. Not just
Palace chat.
palace chat, but like
South Park.
dirty talk with someone that you knew.
Oh, yeah? No, I don't think you have.
All right, so I've got
Someone that I know?
I've got some interesting. Oh, maybe
Please don't tell this story if it involves me.
it doesn't.
Okay, great.
It doesn't. That's.
I love the look that Nikki gave me.
I remember my high school girlfriend and I. We would dirty talk to each other over ICQ.
Is this the one that gave you a death threat, saying that if you ever talk?
No.
Okay.
No. But
Good. I want to make sure that you're safe.
because nothing's sexier than typing in a message on ICQ than seeing the flower spin and hearing, ow! It's just.
Yeah, 90s kids are going to love that.
But I remember we would dirty talk back and forth. But ICQ kept a pretty extensive chat log history. And one day, all my friends came over and they were on my computer. We were all hanging out. I had like a awesome basement room in that house where I lived in like my junior year of high school.
Sweet. I always wanted a basement.
Oh, it
Always
was
wanted a
great.
basement.
It was great. I had a living room and a kitchen and my own bedroom, bathroom, everything down there. It was great. But they were all down there. One of my friends gets on my computer and he's on ICQ talking, and then he's like, "Oh, click," and starts reading through my ex-girlfriend's chat history.
That's kind of rude.
It is kind of rude.
That's a little rude.
It's a little rude.
Who was it? Can you share? Have they been a co-host on this show?
They have not been a co-host
Okay,
on the
then
show.
never mind.
And he's scrolling through and he sees one line that he still brings up to this day. That apparently I don't remember doing it. I guess I was in a hurry. It's a good train.
There's Trainsy. No one will be able to hear it but us.
But so I'm typing. I don't know what the scenario is. I don't have a webcam, so I'm not talking about a webcam.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm talking about a scenario in which we're filming ourselves. I don't know. But at some point, I suppose I was asking her to place her breasts in view of the camera.
Right.
But what I actually end up typing is, "Put your tits in camera." and he latches onto that, and I hear that reference from him every month or so, maybe.
Put yo tits in camera.
Put your tits in camera.
It does work. It does. It
Yeah.
does work. You've told me this story before, and I have used it, and it does work.
And now I know where that came from. Okay.
You didn't even know.
No. And it's 90s
You're
slang.
welcome. You're
didn't-
welcome.
You're blushing. You didn't have to admit that was you, by the way. You could have just let the internet believe that I'm a playa.
You guys. I got my wife to show me your boobs.
That's a
No,
pretty
to
big deal.
text him.
That's a pretty big deal.
Text him a picture of boobs.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
That doesn't happen much in TADPOG NX.
And then another was, I just had a funny story from a friend that she.
You can tell two stories. We're getting a 2 for one.
This is also just because.
Damn, it's like we're at Payless Shoes.
She was back when she was in her wilder days, quote unquote. She was having like met a guy, and they were just like texting, like sort of a one night stand, but they had each other's numbers, and they were texting back and forth before they met up.
Okay.
And a whole bunch of sexy banter back and forth, and eventually he's like, there's so many things I want to do to you, blah blah, what are you into, blah. She was like, I can be whoever or whatever you want me to be. And he replies back,
That's a test.
it is a test.
That's a test. I know a test when I hear one.
So he replies back, my cum guzzling anal vixen.
Correct answer.
She did not text him back. It's like one, I think out of all of those words, she was most put off by him saying
Vixen?
vixen. She's like, who says that?
It is a weird juxtaposition because, like, if he would have said what was the phrase again?
Cum guzzling
Anal
vixen.
If he would have said cum guzzling anal whore, all of a sudden everything kind of harmonizes.
Yeah.
It's like a dissonant chord. Because
Which one of these is
Right.
not like the other?
Exactly. One of them makes you sound like a horny dude. The other one makes you sound like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
That's my stories.
What's up, Internet? I'm your bespectacled host, Dave. And man, I've had a busy week. Over the past couple days, have probably had, I don't know, there were a couple days where I got like 6 hours sleep combined up until like Thursday. So, but I got my coffee in hand. I don't have the good AeroPress shit.
Oh, totally. Until you said
all
that, I
right.
totally forgot.
That's all right. No, I it's fine. I knew you were like knee deep, hip deep, neck deep in Papers, Please.
That's true.
In Tits and Camera.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and brew a pot. I'm not gonna bug Tyler about it. I'll be fine on this pot. So
And this coffee.
and this coffee. No, don't do drugs, kids, unless you really want to. And then I guess ask your parents. Ask your parents' permission. Man, I'm running out of stories, dude. I am running out of stories, and I don't want to make anything up. So I'm just gonna go to the old. You know what grinds my gears?
There you go. Okay. Acceptable.
When someone like forces you to borrow something, you know what I mean? You're having a conversation and you're like, they even bring it up. They're like, let's say, for example, Tyler, you have not seen the original Star Wars trilogy. Let's just say I just start talking about the Star Wars trilogy and I find out that you haven't watched it. I'm like, oh man, you got to watch it. And you're like, I don't really want to watch it. No, I'm gonna bring it over. I'm gonna give it to you. You can borrow it. And then I do it. And then for the next week. So that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that every time I see that person, they're like, hey, did you watch that thing I gave you? No, I haven't. No, I didn't even want it to begin with. That's all right. You hold on to it. You're going to like it. So it's like that with movies. It's like that with books I don't want to read. I can't take it anymore,
All
Tyler.
those PS3 games that I
can't take
gifted you.
it. That's different because I want to play those. And you're not that asshole because you're cool about it. You let me borrow it, and then you never ask about it again. It's like the way it works with you is you let someone borrow something, and as far as you're concerned, it's gone. It might come back. It may come back.
I
It
have
might
lost
not.
so many games.
I know you have.
Until everybody's together talking about said game, and they're like, "Tyler, you have that, don't you?" Tyler's magnificent
I gave
memory
it-
is like,
I
"I
gave it to
think
somebody."
somebody else borrowed that." Yeah, they got it.
So that's really what grinds my gears is people who force you to borrow things and then they ask you about it every time they see you.
That's a good gear grind.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
You got a story?
Yeah. So
Nikki of Manpog fame?
the fair sexed guest host that's here. My journey into being a very proper, animal loving parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like are you sure you want to tell this story?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually get it the right way. So this is when Dave and I lived in Murray above the barbershop.
Which is there not there
Not
anymore.
there anymore.
It's very sad.
So don't try and go see the infamous starter where Dave and I lived first together.
On the Stars of Tadpog tour, you can skip the barbershop because it's not there anymore.
You go to Paducah and then you drive a horrible hour to Murray. There's nothing.
So where would you stop on the Tadpog Stars tour? You definitely Ryan's. You definitely stop at Ryan's. You definitely stop at. Do you have to stop at Ponderosa?
No, you have to
Okay.
go to the church where.
Oh,
all the stuff-
you definitely have to go to your church. But don't go to the barbershop.
Yeah, barbershop's gone. So we were going out of town and
Well, for a long trip,
like a week or something.
for like Thanksgiving, I think, to visit your folks.
Yeah. Yeah. So all the way to St. Louis area. And I remember to put all the food out and get them a bowl of water.
How many cats?
and-
We had 3 cats at the time.
Let's see. It was Cheetos, Pinkerton.
Orange cat, black cat. Okay, we had 2 cats.
2 cats. And Ein.
And
And Ein
Ein.
went with us.
Who was a dog, so I was wrong. Not a cat.
3 animals.
Last I checked, dogs are not cats.
We had 3 fur babies.
We did.
Okay. So we're gone and I'm like, okay, they're fine. They're cats. They're very independent.
Yeah.
We get back from our trip and looking for the cats here,
Not even.
like very, very dry,
not even.
throated.
These are the horse's cats.
Oh my God.
Like one of Pinkerton looked at me and just like opened her mouth like she was meowing, and it was just a little, just a little gasp.
So go into the kitchen and look down. I just had used their regular water dish and they had no water. There was barely a drip coming out of a faucet in the bathroom that they, like, one of them was actually in the tub, I think, like licking around
Yeah.
the drain.
The toilet
as
seat-
we
toilet
walked
seat was
in.
down?
Yes.
That's usually my backup is like,
Right.
I don't want to get the water, so I'll pop the toilet seat open. Okay.
That's a good backup, man, because ever since then, I think we've left the toilet seat up every time.
And there's like 4 huge, like, quart-sized bowls of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned our lesson
Yeah.
from our cats living Fallout New Vegas style. Just getting all those rads drinking from the faucet.
Man, I'm ready to talk about Fallout.
Yeah, you're going to totally lead that one because there's no way I'm playing both of those games again. They're so long.
No, I don't blame you for spending 200 hours for a 1 hour episode.
We almost did it with Bravely Default. We both almost,
Yeah, that's true.
give us like 60 more hours. So Papers, Please.
Papers, please.
I usually ask if you've ever played this game as a kid, but I know the answer to that is no, because this game came out.
I spent a
not very
lot
long
of
ago.
time in the Soviet Union as a child, but
Really?
no.
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 Do they like to put their tits in camera in the USSR?
Yeah, but it's only to be scanned and then profiled and then sent through the Iron Curtain. So it's a different thing. Put your tits in camera. Thank you.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
The rare Tyler Holland Russian accent.
Train noises. A Jew.
What, Zangief? What's that? You hear a train?
These scars are from wrestling bears. Now tell me about this game.
Actually, you're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at that. I like it. That is, you're right. I believe that is the Soviet Union Dave reads from Wikipedia train.
Tell me, comrade.
Okay, guys. Papers, comma, please. There is no Japanese name for this game, so sorry. We can make one up.
Ichiga mo ticho.
There we go. There's our first racist thing of the night. This is weird. I wouldn't categorize this, but it's categorized, it's a puzzle video game. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that, but it makes sense thinking about it.
The same way like Phoenix Wright is a puzzle game.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's developed by indie game developer Lucas Pope, not to be confused with The Pope.
Or Lucas from the movie where the guy who plays football.
No, Rudy?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's another one called Lucas.
Is this a sequel?
It's similar. It's not.
Wait, is it a parody?
It's in the same vein as the nerdy kid that plays football.
Please tell me it's like a story about George Lucas, but done in the style of Rudy.
See, I've never seen it. I only know they reference it in a movie I shamefully have seen, not in their teen movie.
Okay.
They make fun of it there.
Okay.
Whenever,
a classic.
Yeah,
a classic.
classic. Chris Evans is in it, so he's Captain America.
All right, fair enough. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna check out Lucas. We're gonna stop recording right now. I'm gonna watch
We're
it.
gonna go watch Lucas.
This game focuses on the emotional toll of working as an immigration officer, deciding who to let in and who to exclude from entering the fictional dystopian country Arstotzka. The game was released. Man, this might be the most recent game we've played. Well, Rogue Legacy may be close.
Bravely Default.
Oh yeah, that one. But that one came out in Japan, I think, before this
you're
game
right. Okay,
even
that's
came out.
fair.
Period.
That's fair.
It was released on August 8th, 2013, for Microsoft Windows and OS X. It's also you can also get it on Linux. It was if you're badass like that. If you don't want to pay or pirate your operating systems, you can get it now. 2 days before Valentine's Day, it came out, Tyler.
It just hearing about Papers, Please, or just looking at the video, it looks like it would suck.
Yeah, it looks like it would suck, and I think that everything we say on this episode is going to make it sound like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It's awesome.
It doesn't. It is very fun.
I'm really glad to hear that. I was worried that you were not going to like this game.
See, it's strange because I like games like this. It reminded me of Phoenix Wright in that, you're looking for the clues and putting stuff together but at the same time, like, I did get sick of it eventually. But I can't argue that it's a bad thing because I feel like they want you to get sick of it.
I think it's designed to be, that's in my notes, man, right at the top, is I feel like everything about this game is designed to make you feel oppressed. Mm-hmm. Everything. The art style is extremely drab. It's done like in regular NES graphic styling. And it's got this real limited palette, and the palette that it's using is very drab and almost like moldy would be a term that I would use. Mm-hmm. And the music is very USSR, extremely nationalistic, mm-hmm. and very overwhelming, and at the same time heavy, and slow.
So, but it's good. And I feel like we can give us spoilers, but there's so much to this game and so many endings, and so many different ways to play. Like, we can say spoilers, but you play this game and you're going to have a different experience than whatever we say that we had.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think you could listen to this episode and then go play it, and you're totally fine.
And man, I'm really glad that you said what you did about you play it so many different ways and there's all these different endings, because I wanted to tie it back to, I would love to compare and contrast this game to The Walking Dead, because we spent a long time talking about in our Walking Dead episode about illusion of choice. Mm-hmm. This game is, you make a lot of choices in this game and they matter.
Yeah.
Like they actually do matter. There's no illusion of choice. Mm-hmm. You make a decision and there is a consequence to your decision, mm-hmm. Which I think is really, really cool.
And I think there are 20 different endings.
There are a lot of endings. I did not get them all. I got one.
I got two endings.
I got three, which spoilers, I think the most easy ending to get is you go to debtor's prison,
Yeah, you can get that on like day 2 or 3.
which I think I did the first time I played it. Got
I
it
did
on day
too.
3.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess we should maybe talk a little bit about the game. You do play an immigration worker at a checkpoint of a city that has just recently been taken back, I think, from a rebellion. And your job is to get as many people in the country or out of the country as possible within a day. So, right?
Because you can look at it from you look at it from the standpoint of do your job, help people out, or just be a complete and total dick.
Yeah.
And then, or you can teeter somewhere in between.
Yeah, there's incentive to let people through because you get paid.
Well, I think just playing now, you actually get paid for as many people that come into your booth.
Oh, really? So it
Yes.
doesn't matter if you take them in or send them away?
It's as many as you see and actually view their papers.
So you could deny everybody just outright?
But you'll get
Well,
penalized.
yeah. And then you'd probably have like marks or something.
The
Remind me.
deductions to your salary keep going up the more you fail. So like basically you get 2 freebies and then it's $5
Per
and then
for the rest of that day.
for two
right?
2 or 3 or $5. Then it goes up to a $10 fine. Then it goes up to a $25 fine.
Yeah, you're done at that
So you
point.
can get
yeah.
Because money is scarce.
yeah.
You are not paid much money
Well,
at all.
depending on how you play, it can get if you try to do your job, you're barely gonna scrape by.
Right.
But if you accept bribes or
Which I did.
yeah, let certain people in who are gonna help you out or help out secret organizations that are trying to take down the country, you
Yeah.
can get paid.
Did all of those things.
Yeah.
I did all of those things. Well,
could-
because there's a huge incentive to do it. Money is super important. Because you don't buy upgrades or anything with your money. What do you use your money for?
Food, home, medicine, heat
Not just for you,
for your whole family.
your family. At the end of each day, the game tallies up how much money you made that day, and then they show you a list of all your family members and their status.
Because it's your wife, your son, your uncle, and your mother-in-law,
Right.
and then eventually your niece.
Right. And
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
it's your job to make sure all of them stay warm, fed, and healthy. And if you start slipping and don't make enough money, their health you can't keep the heat on, which means they get sick, which means you have to buy medicine. And if you can't afford medicine, they die.
Because here's the thing, I think the game would occasionally sneak things in that are funny.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And for your family, everybody in my family died except my mother-in-law. And I feel like that's the game making a joke, like, who's going to fucking survive? Your mother-in-law.
So that's a huge incentive. That was for me. And what's interesting is like I just felt burdened with responsibility because it's just another way that this game makes you feel powerless. Because it's like you're responsible for these 4 people, which you never see. You never see in the game.
Right, because
They're
you
just
go to
a
work,
list.
They're bubbles.
and then
yeah.
your only option after work is sleep, and then you're back up for work again.
Yep. Yeah, that's another way. I mean, it does a really good job of like the art style, the direction, the message of this game is done so well. It just feels exactly the way that they intended it to.
Because you walk in and you see there's a booth, a huge line of people, and then there's, of course, the wall, and then guards with guns.
Armed guards, yep.
You step in, and you can open up, you hear the as you open up your metal curtain, and then you hit the loudspeaker next, you call the person in, and they walk in, whatever their appearance is, and papers, please.
That's what
how
you say.
Everyone,
Yep.
papers, please. Also, it comes up more, Ivan.
Right. That's another way I think that this game uses another element to make it seem like it's so drab. You're right. There's no voice acting. It's just all these like monosyllabic beeps and bloops, essentially. These low tones.
And you're given a rule book, and then you have to follow the rule book because they come in, they'll hand you their passport, and then you have to check over, make sure their picture matches, make sure their height and weight match, that they have the right sort of code, and that their expiration date is okay. And then eventually, and it builds from there.
And if they don't match, what do you do?
Then you call them out on the discrepancy, and then they'll give you a reason as to why. Most of them are like, oh, I didn't know, so you don't have to feel that guilty.
Right.
But some of them are like, I'm sorry, I didn't have enough money to do this. Please let me in. My wife isn't here. I just want to be with her.
Yeah, my wife's on the other side of the wall.
Then you have to, you have to make the decision about how you're going to play.
Do you let them in or do you deny them?
And there's always, it's either you never really know if there's going to be a positive or a negative consequence to anything.
Yeah.
There's always an unforeseen consequence to whatever you do. So like, say, like you let that person, here's one thing I saw. Someone from the press came in and wanted in the country, like, please, I want to expose some of the awful things that are happening in this country. So I was like, okay, I'll let the guy in.
You let him in?
I let him in.
Really?
So, of course, in the next day, I'm exposed for having lax security because that's what the reporter was doing to see if he could get in. So then I have another thing I have to deal with the next morning. I have another rule I have to check everybody out on.
So you were directly penalized for it. Yeah, I did not let that fucker in because it was like, I don't know. I think we had different motivations because I think it sounds like if you let him in, maybe your motivation was to make the country better. My motivation was 100% don't let my family die. Like under no circumstances do I want, like I didn't even want them to get sick. I didn't want the heat to go off. So like because of that, at every opportunity, someone would be like, hey, let me in the country. Here's $20. Okay. Which bit me in the ass because it turned out that one of those, I let someone through and then they got found out and it came back to me. So not only did they take that $20 from me, but they also deducted $10.
How did you play, Nikki?
I was pretty straight-laced. I was more focused on the family and wanting to follow my rules and make sure that I was getting the right people in. There was one bribery thing, and it wasn't letting someone in. It was a transportation of documents. And I did take that money. I didn't even notice my level of income after that, though, so it did me no good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm too zeroed in on the narrow path of papers, please, papers.
You're a drone, is what you're saying.
Yes, pretty much.
Because there are also little pins you can get for helping people out from all the surrounding countries. Those are what a lot of the achievements are around getting these pins, and they're all. Some are kind of obvious and some are very obscure.
Yeah, I didn't focus on those very much. Did you collect them all?
I missed one.
Okay.
But here's what I have, because from all, I remember all the surrounding countries, but here are all the things you have to do to get them. Like the first one, a woman comes in and she hands you her passport and she's talking about how excited she is to finally see her son after all these years, now that this checkpoint's been opened, and there's something wrong in her passport. If you tell her about it, she'll apologize and ask just to see her son. If you let her in, you get the pin from her country.
Okay. I never got that one.
There's one where the husband comes in and all his papers are right, and he says, "My wife and I are finally here. We're excited to be in." He gets
Please
out.
be nice to her.
Yeah. When she comes in, her passport's fucked up. So if you let her in, then you get the pin from their country.
Okay. Also didn't get that one. Turned her away.
They're sort of the comic relief character, Jorgie.
Yes.
Who-
the one who makes his own passport?
He comes that doesn't have one, and then it's like written on a piece of cardboard. Passport, please stamp.
I did get his pin.
Yeah, when his papers are legit and you let him in, then you get the pin from his country.
Because he comes back he doesn't come back every day, but he comes back frequently.
Yep.
Frequently he'll come back, and his passport's always a little bit better, but always fucked up.
And then he doesn't always have what's required to get in.
Right.
So the permit or the working pass or whatever, he just doesn't have it.
Because you need, let's see, the passport first, then you need a an authorization permit, and you need a work permit if you're there for a job. You need your extra identification tag. Then you eventually need your vaccination papers.
Yep.
And
I
then
didn't get
your
that far.
A combination access paper. Diplomats need a diplomatic immunity form. I'm trying to think what else there is. Citizens have a card.
Yes.
The citizen authorization card.
It gets to the point, and this slowly builds. So it's every few days they add another layer of shit you have to check for. And that's another thing that really builds. I feel like this game really it just layers on top of itself.
Well, you start getting frustrated and kind of but at the same time, that's their point, so I can't fault them for it.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I think it was definitely their point. And there's also, you'll notice that you'll get to the point, your desk is so small. Your desk space is so small. So when you get near the end of the game, when they're just giving you like dozens of papers, it's like you're just like shifting through this mountain of paper. It's just like, oh, where was that card? There it is. And then you set, set it down.
All these prostitutes are trying to give
their place of employment cards, like come see me.
Yeah,
dance.
all these.
Woo.
Yeah, all these promo cards. And it's like I would get angry at them. I would be like, "Stop
Trying to give
giving
them
me
back,
this shit!"
and you can't give it
Exactly.
back.
I started leaving it on that counter over to the left so it wouldn't mess up my
That's what I
space.
start doing. Yeah, you get like a soccer player comes through and gives you his soccer.
His pennant,
Yeah, and then
which the government makes you take off the
they
wall.
penalize you for it. Yep. You only have the plaques that they give you up on your wall. Let's see.
We totally got off track. You were talking about pens.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. There's a guy who comes through looking for engineers and gives you business cards.
Yes.
If you give out all the business cards to all the engineers, you get the pen from his country.
I did get that one.
Somebody comes through. He doesn't have his access permit, but he has his passport. He's like, if you let me in, I'll come back in 2 days and have you the right paperwork. Here is my father's watch that he gave me. I'll give it to you for collateral.
I fucked this guy over. I really fucked this guy over.
If you let him through, and then when he comes back, you give him the watch back, and he says, "Hey, he gives you $10, and you give them the watch back, and he's like, there's a scratch on it. I want my $10 back." If you give him the $10 back, he then apologizes, like, this was already there before. You're an honest person. I'm very sorry. Gives you the money back, and then you get his pen.
Trying to pull a grift.
Yep.
I'm glad I fucked this guy over. What I did was I took his watch, and when he came back, I didn't give it back to him.
You can do that. You can also sell it for like $20.
That's what I did because I was like, man, this watch has got to be worth something, and I got to keep the heat on. So I'm sorry.
Well, you can also, like, if you take the watch, take his money, you can then detain him and then sell his watch for like, you can end up making like $40 off of him.
Yeah, because the guards start bribing you.
Mm-hmm.
The guard starts bribing you to detain people. And like because he has a quota he's got to meet. He's got to detain X number of people a day. So he'll give you $5 for every person that you detain.
And then he's fucked you over whenever
Yes.
it comes time.
Yes.
Like the first time he fucked you over.
Yes.
Let's see. There's someone, a guy comes up, he has a passport, and then he gives you a love poem. It's a ridiculous love poem, like with sketches about how much you mean to him and like how you're like encasing his heart, how much he loves you. And then you kick him out and you keep the note. But a few people later, an old woman comes in and she gives you his papers and she's like, I don't even know why I'm coming here. No one loves me. I have nothing to live for. If you give her the note, she is very touched and then gives you her pen.
That's a good one. I like that. I missed it.
The last one is this is the one the really dark one in which a guy comes through. He gives you a picture of his daughter,
Oh, yes.
and he's like, the person who murdered my daughter is coming through.
Yes.
If you confiscate his passport and give it to me so I can go and kill him, then I'll reward you for it. So when the murderer comes through, confiscate his passport, let him in, despite the fact you unauthorized confiscation of his passport. Eventually, you have to start giving reasons too. So you can't just like something's wrong and deny them, or just feel like something's wrong and deny them. You eventually have to start going through and finding the reasons. Otherwise, you'll get penalized
Right.
just as if you didn't catch them at all. So you get penalized twice for him being on the criminal list, because eventually they start giving you most wanted posters that you have to keep. That's another thing to check for.
Right. If they're wanted.
Yeah. So that's a double if you let him through, but then eventually the dad comes back, you give him the passport, he thanks you, and you get his pen and money, and then the paper the next day, it talks about this brutal murder of a notorious child rapist.
Yeah.
And then you get his pen.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Hey, at least you get a pen.
And there's also the Secret Society.
Yes.
The EZIC.
Yes.
That's the ending I got. I followed them
Yes.
through all the way to the end.
Me too. I got that ending as well because they're trying to overthrow the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ones I was actually curving off from the straight and narrow path with. Because I remember the little diagram. You saw me, Tyler,
Their stuff
actually
was
trying to
interesting, yeah.
figure out what the names were by lining up their marks. And
They give you like a decoder.
there you go. Decoder.
And it's that's really cool because when shit like that happens, like even when you get that love letter and when the comic relief guy shows up, this game needs that. It needs that stuff because when that stuff happens, it's all of a sudden, oh, it's like a relief. It's a surprise. It's really like you've been grinding. It feels like work. It feels like you've been working, and then oh, this is interesting. This is new. This is something that's not just an ugly 8-bit person and in their passports and all their papers.
And they give you like, you want nothing at first, they give you $1,000. They give you a fucking $1,000. And it's like, oh my God, I upgraded, like, I got the nice apartment.
I'm so glad you
and
did
I bought
that.
all the money.
Yeah.
I like, everybody gets
Yep, I know.
medicine. Everybody gets food.
Look under your chair, medicine, and you get medicine, and you get medicine.
But then, of course, your neighbor rats you out
Yep.
because you're wealthy, and you get that taken away and a penalty, and then you have to move back to your shitty apartments.
Yep.
Then they apologize to give you like a little bit of money.
Well, see, what happened to me was I did the same exact thing. I upgraded my living quarters, pimped everyone out. I was so happy. And then when they found out and penalized me, it dropped me to the point where I went to debtor's prison. Like just the next day after, it was like, and the game's over.
Because also there is an achievement for the highest you can get is you start in a class 8 apartment. You get up to a class 5 apartment, which is the nicest apartment a working class citizen is allowed to have. And it's an achievement for it. It benefits you in no way but costing you more money. So it's like that's another message, like a message the game is trying to convey to you. Like no matter how good it gets, there's nothing. You're not striving for anything,
Right.
Or there's another layer of this. It took me. I was deep into the 20s and days before I realized that there is a scale at the bottom, so you check everybody's weight.
Yes.
Whenever people would come in,
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice that until I got penalized for not catching that someone's weight was wrong on their passport.
Because when I would click their weight and click on them, it'd be like no correlation. And I was like, I guess that's okay. And then I would get the penalty. It's like, what the fuck happened? You have to, there's the scale at the bottom. I got penalized for that every time. I had no
Yep,
idea.
me too.
Until I looked at the wiki and they told me, and I was like, oh, okay, there it is. Because if their weight's off, and then if you call them on it, then you search them. And that's when you can turn nudity on and off.
Yeah, there's a toggle.
Because you straight up get naked pictures of them
Yep.
once they get searched.
And it is not pleasant.
Nope.
It is. There are a lot of buttons on a fur coat.
Yeah.
In this game.
Because then you have to search them for any paraphernalia, and then,
I love finding like bags of Coke strapped to old ladies' thighs. That was just such a good feeling.
well, there's that one guy who's like, this is medicine for somebody who's sick. Then you have to decide if you're going to let them in or not.
Totally
What
detained
happens.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally did.
I want my $5, bitch.
Exactly. Niece has got to eat. That's the other thing is, you mentioned earlier that you get an extra mouth to feed
Yeah.
later in the game.
When you have to decide if you're going to adopt your niece, which I did. But
did
then it
too.
turns out you get rewarded for that because then you get your sister's inheritance, which basically pays for your niece
Right.
in a few days. Like you still have to suffer for a few days.
I was worried for those days because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work.
But overall, it's an experience. It's a good experience to have. It's a fun game to play.
Buy it.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say that. Buy it.
Buy it.
It's not expensive. I don't know how much it is, but it's not very expensive.
It's on Steam. It's worth $5, $6, $7 easily.
Definitely.
I'd say
And
I even go further than that. What were you going to say?
thinking about the weight thing,
Mm-hmm.
that little tidbit, the calendar. I wish that on the time clock they would have something where, other than it flashing to let you know that soon the place would be closing.
Oh, right.
Because that kept getting my attention and drawing me away from my papers, and I was just like, I gotta get through one more.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many little things that I didn't realize the first time I played that were little shortcuts to make it faster, and you can get those small upgrades.
You can upgrade
You can
your
buy
booth.
to use
so that
to
you
use
have shortcut keys.
keyboard.
Yeah.
So
And
did
then
you do that?
I did.
I've heard it makes a huge difference.
It does.
But I've never bought them ever because I was just so worried about my family dying.
But if you're thinking about how many people you get through your booth is one more, and that pays for itself.
Yeah.
Some days it doesn't help though because there'll be a terrorist attack.
Yes.
Your day is cut in half. You don't make half as much money, and you'll end up a negative for the day.
Because someone decided to bomb the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And eventually you have to start defending yourself when there are budget cutbacks.
Yep.
So then so I see a motorcycle pull up. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm trying to move my papers.
Right.
Get to the key to get to the case.
You have to
Turn
unlock the
gun.
door. Yeah. Oh,
I didn't get that
Oh,
far.
that shit was
I would
intense.
stress out.
Oh yeah,
I would totally
it is
stress out.
designed to stress you out.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's a good experience to have. I recommend it to everybody.
You definitely. I know a lot of people in the TADPOG Steam group own this game already. But if you're listening and you haven't played it and you have access to Steam, I can't recommend it enough. It sounds like an awful game. It is, but you're right. You put it in a really good way, Tyler. It is an experience, and it's an experience that it's worth it. It's worth it. If you're on the fence, even after listening to us talk about it, I urge you to watch the trailer for it, because the trailer will tell you immediately if it's a game that you would like or not. Because the game relies so much on its style to create a feeling. That trailer represents that style, I think. So
I want to watch Nicole of Kirby's Dream Course play this game, because I think
I do
this is up her alley. I would like to see her watch this and yell at it.
yeah,
Whenever she gets it wrong.
Oh yeah.
The game has achievements, but did you guys think of any else?
I did.
Because they're kind of sparse.
I mean, the only thing I could come up with off the top of my head is got to catch them all and got to get all the pins.
Yeah, that's good.
I got nothing. I didn't even know there were pins because I didn't let
You
those
did your
people
job.
in.
Yeah, you did your job. That's why I only got like 2.
Because after 32 days, like the real ending, the 20th ending is your performance review after 32 days. So they read you off your citations. I'm not sure what happens depending on.
I did not get that. I did not know that was the real ending. I just assumed the real ending was the one where you help the organization trying to overthrow the
Because
government.
that ends on like day 30 or 31, so it's right before your performance review.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, because that's another thing to stress you out. They build to your performance review. They let you know it's coming up.
You'll see the
and
limo
that-
pull up and
Yep.
the guy comes out.
and
to
that your
office.
shit had better be straight or you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, just another layer of stress.
So, I've got Guantanamo Bay,
Okay.
which you unlock that by detaining 60 people.
You unlock that by listening to Skinny Puppy the entire time you play the game.
Another one is goal. You get that by getting arrested for your soccer pennant. 'Cause
Oh,
if
yeah.
you keep it up after the first time you're penalized, you'll get taken to jail for it the second time.
Is that an ending? Is that a game ending?
That's an ending, yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. Jorgie LaForge. And that's, you always let Jorgie in. It's like, fucking come on, man. Come on. And the last one being, fuck 'em. Once you let everybody die.
Okay.
So,
I'm trying to come up with like a Hotline Miami achievement because of the dude on the motorcycle you have to shoot. and of course the motorcycle guy in Hotline Miami. I just can't do it though. Hotline Arstoka. And to unlock that, you have to shoot the guy on the motorcycle because it's harder than you might think.
yep. You only get 3 shots.
Oh.
You do get a $5 bonus for hitting him.
Yay!
You would think that would be a much higher bonus.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, I stopped that guy, so give me like 25, 50. Come on.
I've got a very important question for you, Tyler. But before I ask you, I want to talk about some of this guy's other games. Are you familiar with them?
Not at all.
Man, there are 2 other games that he has done that he did before Papers, Please, and they are free to play online in a web browser, and they are really, really, really interesting. One is almost like a proto Papers, Please, and it's called the Republia Times, and Republia is
nations.
a border country in Papers, Please, and in this game you play you've just been appointed as editor-in-chief of the Republia Times, and it's very similar in art style. On the left side of the screen, you have a news feed, and it just prints out news stories. Republia just crushed a rebellion to overthrow the government. So the government wants you to only publish articles that show Republia in a positive light. So you have to go through these news stories that are being spit out of a printer on the left, a dot matrix, of course. And on the right, you have an empty layout. And you have to choose stories. You have to choose stories and drag them over to the newspaper on the right. And you can choose the size of the article. And there's like a full page, a half page, and a quarter page. And the larger the story, the more effect it will have on the readers. So if you publish a story that praises Republia and you do like a full page, the loyalty of the country is going to skyrocket. But if you do it smaller, if you do like a quarter page, it's still going to have an effect, but it's not going to be as great. But you also have to keep in mind, you have to keep the newspaper interesting, which means you have to publish stories that are like sports related, weather related, stuff like that people would just pick up, and it's not political. So you have this delicate balance where you're trying to keep loyalism up, but at the same time keep your readership up. And if either of them drop too low, the government kills your family.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. The language that it uses in the game is much more scary. It says that your family has been eliminated.
Russian mafia.
Not even Russian mafia. Fucking government. That's what's really scary. John Turley right now, I'm sure white knuckling his steering wheel in rage.
Oh, the KGB.
Similar to Papers, Please, you're all of a sudden every now and then your printer that's printing out all these news stories there'll be an encrypted code in red ink. I haven't finished that game because I failed miserably the first time I played it, much like Papers, Please, but I'm willing to bet that is like a similar tie-in with an organization who's trying to liberate the people of this government. There's here's what's really interesting about that game that I was just talking about, he developed in 48 hours as part of a competition.
Wow.
That happens every so often. The entirety, he just did it in 48 hours. I'll give you the link to put in the show notes. I think anyone should check this out because it's totally free. And if you're on the fence for Papers, Please, it's going to let you know whether or not you should spend the money. The other one he did is called 6 Degrees of Sabotage. And it's kind of this political thriller. Surprise, it's political. Where the mayor of an unknown town or city died in an explosion. Someone detonated a bomb. There's been an eyewitness who tells you who did it, who detonated the bomb, and then you have intel on the mastermind behind the plan. But the problem is there are 3 other people in this ring of saboteurs, and you have to figure out who they are. And the way you do it is you have to figure them out by association. And they're all these characters are identified by their profession. So for example, the eyewitness will tell you that the butler detonated the bomb, and you'll find out that the madam was the mastermind. So then what they'll do is there'll be different parts of the day where you observe all the suspects, and they'll be grouped together. So like if you know that the madam was the mastermind on the first part of the day, you look to see who was with the madam. And then it'll progress further. It'll show you like 3 hours later. You have to look and see, you have to remember the people who were with the madam, and you have to see who they were with. And then you have to do that 4 times until it links with the person who detonated the bomb. It's really difficult. I totally had to write it down every time because there's no way I can remember, because there's like a dozen suspects. It is insanely difficult. And then at the end, once you think you know who the saboteurs are, you have to snipe them. It does something similar to the motorcycle scene in Papers, Please, where you get this crosshair, this reticle, that you have to move over the suspects. And they're all moving, and they're walking in a crowd of people. So it's like you have to not only identify the 5 people, but you have to kill them. And you have 5 bullets. So if you miss one, the saboteurs win. And there's totally a chance that you're just going to shoot a random bystander in the crowd as they're moving. It is crazy. It's definitely worth playing. Both of these are free. Check it out, please.
I like that.
I'm sorry I went so long. It's just I felt like that needed to be said. Yeah. This Pope guy, I don't know. Does the Pope like politics? Let's say
a little bit.
Okay, Tyler. I've had a lot of fun. Nikki, I'm so sorry. I have talked a lot this episode, and I feel like you maybe said 4 sentences.
Maybe 7.
So I apologize.
That's all right.
She talked about Cass and there to a nudie picture. It's fine.
That is true. You did put your tits in camera, so I guess I owe you again.
There you go.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a beard, that would tell the world how you feel about it, that would tell all of the Eastern European world what you feel about it, What kind of beard would you give it?
I think it's pretty obvious. This is a pretty obvious beard / piece of facial hair.
Okay. Not too obvious. I don't have it.
It had to be Joseph Stalin's
Stalin?
mustache.
All right. Okay. I almost went with Stalin. But that episode of Friends always makes me nervous to ever say Stalin because doesn't like Joey fuck that up like
Yeah,
throughout the entirety of an
I just need to
episode?
go as a different name. Chandler's like, oh, Joseph. I like Joseph, but Joseph Tribbiani, I don't know. Like, what else could it be? Oh, Stalin. Joseph Stalin. I like that. I'll use it on my resume.
Ever since that episode, I'm gun shy to ever like say Joseph Stalin. Because the whole joke is that whole episode, he does not realize that what he is doing. So now that name always makes me nervous. Not for the reason it should. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
That was a good beard. I'm curious to see what kind of glasses you would give this game.
I have to give this Mikhail Gorbachev's glasses.
Okay.
Now, he's normally known for his enormous birthmark on his
right,
head.
his spot.
But he also wore glasses.
I remember the 90s where everyone said a bird shit on his head. Man, those political cartoonists, that was their bread and butter. Some people
That's all
called
I
us.
got. Yep. We got
Not to rush or anything, but
we can do a call or two.
maybe a call or two.
Yeah.
Nikki?
Yay, call.
Okay. That's good because they'll ask a question and then you can interact and I don't have to feel like a total asshole for being like, hey baby, you should come on the show. You play Papers, Please. And then I don't let you fucking talk. God, I'm such a dick. All right, first call.
Hey guys, it's what do you call me? Hooterist Karen. I was just calling to say hey, and I have a question for you. First of all, I'm a couple F's behind, so don't hate me, but I'm listening to them today. I have a question about the Turtles episode. I was just wondering if you guys had seen the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer and what you thought about it. I think the Turtles look a little like LL Cool J. But anyway, just wanted to see what you thought about it. And I am 110% a Raphael. Red's my favorite color, and I am aggressive and sarcastic, which he both is. Hope you guys are doing great. Can't wait to be back on the show. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
And she was getting out of her car.
Right. Yeah, we heard that. I like the LL Cool J. I like that a lot. I think ladies love Michelangelo.
That's because he's got the pizza.
Ladies love pizza.
No, ladies love Michelangelo because he's got the pizza.
Right. So
So
they want the
he's-
pizza. They're using him.
Transitive property.
He's,
Women just want pizza.
he's the source of their...
He's not a pizza chef. Or maybe he is. There was an action
Hey.
figure, I think.
Isn't it the you earn the bacon? Wait.
We're talking about pizza, not bacon.
Bring home the bacon.
Yeah, there you go.
You bring
Yeah.
home the pizza. I'll bring home the bacon.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So clearly Michelangelo's needed.
I think the trailer looks good, except for the fact that what's her name is in it?
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. She used to be super hot. I understand that the pressures of maintaining your beauty caused her to have a lot of plastic surgery that makes her look kind of weird now. But the way she also talks so much shit about Michael Bay that she's in another Michael Bay movie,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't know
but-
why he. Well, I think the deal is. See, I thought this was like a Michael Bay joint as well, but then I watched the trailer and I was like, you know what? This is bad, but it is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm definitely going to see this movie. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I am definitely going to see this movie. Even if I thought the trailer was garbage, I would still go and see this movie. But I think it's just produced by Michael Bay. I don't think it's directed by someone
okay.
else who did some really shitty movies. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll give you a link for the show notes to his IMDb. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
We're in for a rough ride.
I see because I thought it looked okay. April O'Neil just could have been had better casting.
Who would you have cast?
Someone who would look cute and innocent. Megan Fox. Megan Fox.
That's her cat.
She has that like sort of sexy, dirty thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where I would have went
Oh, yeah,
way
just-
more cute, innocent reporter in New York, like someone who's cute and innocent and just happens to fall upon this crazy.
Megan Fox is just trashy enough.
Yeah.
Is the term that's used in Tadpog Car.
I might have even gone like Rachel Bilson, maybe.
I don't know who that is.
See, I was going to say somebody like maybe Dakota Fanning who was younger.
Young enough.
And still has that innocence because she hasn't played in one of those roles.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
see
know.
that.
I don't know who I would cast. So I'm going to skip that question. I wouldn't even have April in the movie. Sorry. I would just have turtles kicking ass. That's all I want. It could just be a music. It could be a 2-hour music video of just Ninja Turtles kicking ass.
See, I was hoping you were going to say musical. So I was like, I would also went for that.
I would
Splinter,
definitely
I
love
have
for that.
returned. Oh, where are you? The Foots have you.
Gotta get these turtles. They're always in my way.
If only Uncle Phil were around to reprise his role, I feel like he would be a really good Broadway shredder. James Avery? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some other people call us. Do we have time?
I think we do one more.
All right. One more. Nikki, you in?
I'm in.
Okay. You going to go see Turtles with me?
Yeah, I'll go see Turtles with you. Can I watch the trailer first?
Nope.
Okay.
It's going to be a
You gotta
grab
go in
bag.
blind.
Yo, TADPOG, it's Baby Dibs. I'm glad that you all hate Kirby's Dream Course as much as I do. I was really into Virtual Console when it came out for the Wii, so I bought it because IGN gave it like an 8. I was like, this is so shitty. I hate it. And what's even more outrageous is that when I got a Wii U, I paid the $1.50 to upgrade it to the Wii U version just so I would have it, and I still hate it.
Yeah.
Here's my question. What is your least favorite game that you've ever bought on more than one system? Peace out. You guys are doing great. Later.
Least favorite game I've ever bought on multiple systems.
I have an answer, and it is. I didn't do it by choice, okay? I didn't do it by choice. And it's not a horrible game. We've talked about it a little bit, and that is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay,
Not a
fair.
horrible game.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 Marriage Rapture episode, I urge you to listen to it. It's one of our that's an early episode. Maybe don't listen to it. I haven't listened to our old shit. It's pretty horrible, right? Yeah.
Well, some of it. Did miss.
I mean, this is pretty bad, but that shit was really bad.
I guess because I think I have it on 2 different platforms. It's not a bad game per se, but I'm so terrible at it. I'm so terrible at it. And it is a crushingly hard game. Burger Time.
Burger Time.
Fucking Burger Time is like I just keep
Oh,
playing it,
man.
like hoping I'll be good at it, like hoping something will just magically click.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I'm so bad at it.
It's such a cool game, though. It's such a cool
man.
concept. It's like a fever dream.
I don't think I've played that.
It's you watch me play it at Game Galaxy. They've got it in Nashville. It's the one where you're a chef, right? And you've got all these layers where there are gigantic hamburger ingredients, and your goal is to walk over the ingredients and they'll fall down a level to assemble a giant hamburger.
But meanwhile, you're being attacked by hot dogs and
Yeah.
Fried eggs.
you have to throw salt on them.
They love it. They love it.
I don't think I'd be good at that.
There's some art for that game. The official art for that game is pretty disturbing, I believe. But there's also an artist who I can't remember his name who does like realistic renditions of arcade games, and his rendition of Burger Time is horrifying. It is horrifying. Oh, that's disturbing. I hope I can find it. I'm making a lot of references that I want in the show notes, but I'm not noting what these are. So yeah, you may get all these at tadpog.com. You may not. Do you have a game? Have you bought a game, Nikki?
That's what I was going to say. I've never bought a game.
Final Fantasy 11. You bought.
Okay.
Well, I bought for you, but
But-
it's our money, so it's all the same.
Right. And when would I have bought any for multiple systems?
You did have a reoccurring WoW subscription for like 2 years. That might count. Because technically you bought it
Every month.
24 times.
But I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I know. I did
Until
too.
we stopped enjoying,
Until you got a job, yeah.
I didn't not have a job for 2 years.
Yeah.
That was me.
I get you guys confused all the time. I'm sorry. That's why I wasn't phased when I sent a text, put yo tits in camera, and Tyler sent me a photograph of his hairy nipples.
I hate that about hits us on time.
Man, that's a shame. I'm having a good time. I think we should go for a double shift.
You just do 2 in a row.
Let's just keep talking.
We could go a little long and try to do one more.
No, you're right. We can't. We got to keep it in that golden hour, which we're gonna miss anyway.
Golden shower?
Yes.
Who makes the lovely young lady makes the fish chip? Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher.
Yep.
So you don't miss the next episode, we'll be talking about IGN's 35th ranked game,
Sim City.
Still haven't got myself to pick that back up yet.
You started?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'm dreading it.
Okay.
I hope I'm
Spoilers.
so wrong.
Okay.
I hope I'm so wrong.
I don't want to spoil anything. I haven't played it on the Super Nintendo yet either. I know some of our listeners have given us negative previews, but I have found out that a lot of people prefer the SNES version. We'll get into that. We'll get into There's a teaser. There's a teaser for next episode.
While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give the show a 5-star rating. Write a review. There's a game you want us to do included in that review, and we'll get to it eventually.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got? That's your spiel? I'm out of the rhythm now because you slow it down. So it's like I get into what you're saying and then you're done and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta say something. Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're gonna be back. We're gonna be talking about an old game. In the meantime, if you can't get enough Tadpog goodness, you can always go to tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Man, we're gonna have a lot this time, maybe. If I remember to send links to Tyler, which I won't, which I will not until Sunday night when Tyler's like, hey man, you got those links? And I'll be like, oh shit, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. So those may be on there. Who knows? You can also find us on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/tadpog. There are a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Come join the conversation. You can see, I know I haven't made a turd on the floor reference in a long time. A long time ago, sandwich night, Phil posted a photograph of a turd on the ground that his son made. John Turley of NBA Jam fame, I think you can appreciate that. You just told me a story
and
recently.
probably put something in response.
Yeah, let's just have a turd on the floor war.
Let's have a turd off.
A good old-fashioned Kentucky turd off.
The hot brown, as it's well known.
Oh, nice. Sing.
Yay!
That's where we need the toilet flush sound effect that Josh of Uniracers fame mentioned. But just so I can finish that thought, so John of NBA James fame doesn't get mad at me. He didn't shit on the floor. His son did. Or maybe that's what he wants us to think. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at tadpog_podcast. It is cumbersome, I know, but some fucker already took Tadpog and does nothing with it. They don't do anything with it. So I can't officially say let's harass that person, but if you do, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Hooter's Taryn claimed she was going to really get at that guy and try to get
I forgot about that. She did, and we did play her question, so she has to do it now.
Yep.
So, sorry. What else? I got a quiz.
You have a quiz?
I got a quiz. We got a phone number.
We do.
You want to call us and ask us about Turtles in Time or Michael Bay or Megan Fox or Megan Socks? Do it. You can call us at 27.
Dewey Cox. Man, who's cute. Keep fucking going.
Nice. Man, this is like a Reddit karma thread. You can always call us at Tadpog Hotline. That is 270-883-2555. Memorized.
It's only taken a year.
Yeah. Nikki,
Yes, Dave.
our intro song is
Moves.
by,
Sycamore Drive.
a link to that track can be found where?
On your website, tadpog.com, and in show notes.
Pretty good.
In the show notes.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You're pretty pleased with yourself,
I
aren't
am,
you?
I am.
You feel pretty good?
Yeah.
What's the last episode you listened to?
Probably one of the last ones I edited.
That was also about a year ago because I think the last one you edited was before we had the phone line.
No, I did calls.
Oh, you did?
I edited with calls.
Okay. Well, I still
But-
appreciate you doing that.
I have to justify that I don't drive places, so I don't have time to sit and listen, and my job doesn't
Nikki learned to
allow me.
teleport a long time ago.
I don't have distance driving.
Please don't. I don't want the listeners to think you're an invalid.
Or that you're so domineering. It's like, you don't drive. I drive places. You don't drive.
I don't drive long distances to anywhere in particular, and my job, I can't actually have something playing and listen as well. So I generally do just get to hear tidbits while I'm on the couch waiting for
Watching
you guys to be done.
Bones.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm glad you got those questions right, though.
Until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
Man, you're so proud of yourself.
I am.
There's nothing a young boy loves more than just an up-close shot, just a super up-close shot of a gaping vagina that's just going to secure him into wanting that for the rest of his life.